Hello viewers, welcome to Big Man Business YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about Sweden's top imports and exports. Keep watching, we got you covered. In 2020, the Kingdom of Sweden imported $149.8 billion in goods from throughout the world, increasing 6.3% from 2016, but down by -5.8% from 2019 to 2020. The Swedish krona has declined by -7.6% against the US dollar since 2016, but has strengthened by 2.6% from 2019 to 2020, according to the average exchange rate for 2020. Since 2019, Sweden's stronger local currency has made goods paid in weaker US dollars less expensive when converted from the Swedish krona. From a continental viewpoint, other European countries accounted for 83% of Sweden's total imports by value. 12.1% of Sweden's imports came from Asian trading partners. North America got 3.2%, Latin America got 0.63%, omitting Mexico but including the Caribbean, Africa got 0.62%, and Oceania with 0.2%, led by Australia, received smaller percentages. Given Sweden's population of 10.4 million people, the country's total $149.8 billion in 2020 imports equates to around $14,400 in annual product demand from each individual. If you're new to the Big Man Business YouTube channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive updates on new business expert videos. For more international business news and updates, please visit www.bigmanbusiness.com. The following product groupings account for the majority of Sweden's import purchases in 2020. The percentage share of each product category in terms of total imports into Sweden is also given. $20.5 billion in machinery, including computers, accounted for 13.7% of total imports. $20.1 billion in electrical machinery and equipment accounted for 13.4%. $16.7 billion in vehicle stands at 11.1%. Mineral fuels, which include oil, are worth $11.7 billion, which is 7.8%. $5.6 billion in plastics and plastic items is 3.7%. $5.5 billion in pharmaceuticals account for 3.6%. $4.7 billion in fish stands at 3.1%. $4.5 billion in optical, technical, and medical equipment accounts for 3%. $3.8 billion in iron and steel articles stands at 2.5%. $3.7 billion on furniture, bedding, lighting, signage, and prefabricated buildings is equivalent to 2.5%. Sweden's top 10 imports accounted for nearly 2/3 of the total value of its goods purchases from other nations, which is 64.6%. Pharmaceuticals went up by 12.5%, optical, technological, and medical gear was up by 12.1%, and furniture, bedding, lighting, signage, and prefabricated constructions all had double-digit cost increases from 2019 to 2020. Mineral fuels, including oil, were the biggest losers year over year, falling by -30.5%. Sweden's top exports. The Kingdom of Sweden, a Scandinavian nation in northern Europe bounded to the west by Norway, Finland to the east, and connected to Denmark via a tunnel connecting its southwest to Denmark, exported $155.6 billion worth of goods around the world in 2020. This figure represents an increase of 11.7% from 2016, but a decrease of -3.1% from 2019 to 2020. The Swedish krona has declined by -7.6% against the US dollar since 2016, but has strengthened by 2.6% from 2019 to 2020, according to the average exchange rate for 2020. Since 2019, Sweden's higher local currency has made Swedish exports paid for in weaker US dollars more affordable for overseas purchasers. According to the most recent data available, importers in Norway accounted for 10.6% of the global total, Germany with 10.4%, the United States with 8.1%, Denmark with 7.6%, Finland with 7%, China with 5.4%, the Netherlands with 5.1%, the United Kingdom with 5.1%, France with 4%, Belgium with 3.5%, Poland with 3.3%, and Italy purchased 72.7% of Swedish exports. From a continental viewpoint, 69.8% of Sweden's exports were delivered to other European countries, while 14.1% were sold to Asian buyers. Sweden's exports to North America increased by 9.2%. Africa got 1.8%, Latin America excluding Mexico but includes the Caribbean got 1.3%, and Oceania headed by Australia received smaller percentages of 1.2%. Given Sweden's population of 10.4 million people, the country's total $155.6 billion in 2020 exports equates to about $15,000 for each citizen. In terms of dollar value, the following export product groups will account for the majority of Swedish global shipments in 2020. The percentage share of each export category in terms of total exports from Sweden is also indicated. $24.5 billion in machinery, including computers, account for 15.7% of total exports. $21.3 billion in vehicles account for 13.7%. $15.4 billion in electrical machinery and equipment stands at 9.9%. $11.6 billion in pharmaceuticals accounts for 7.5%. $8.4 billion in paper and paper products account for 5.4%. Mineral fuels, including oil, are worth $7.6 billion stands at 4.9%. $5.8 billion in iron and steel stands at 3.7%. $5.4 billion in plastics and plastic goods account for 3.4%. $4.4 billion in wood stands at 2.8%. $4.3 billion in optical, technical, and medical equipment account for 2.7%. Sweden's top 10 exports accounted for nearly 2/3 of the total value of its global shipments, which is 69.8%. Pharmaceuticals are the fastest growing export category among the top 10, with a 13.7% increase from 2019 to 2020. Wood came in second, with a 12.1% increase in export sales. Sweden's electrical machinery and equipment shipments grew at the third fastest rate, increasing by 9.3%. Mineral fuels, including oil, were the main decliner among Sweden's top 10 export categories, with a -26% reduction year-over-year. Sweden's declining foreign crude oil income weighed on this product category year-over-year. Sweden's top trading partners. Sweden is a country in northern Europe that borders Norway and Finland and is connected to Denmark by a bridge tunnel. The Kingdom of Sweden is its official name. In 2020, Sweden exported items worth $155.6 billion around the world. This figure represents an increase of 11.7% from 2016, but a decrease of -3.1% from 2019 to 2020. According to a continental perspective, 69.8% of Sweden's exports were delivered to European countries, while 14.1% were sold to Asian importers. Sweden's exports to North America increased by 9.2%. Africa got 1.8%, Latin America excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean got 1.3%, and Oceania headed by Australia received smaller percentages got 1.2%. Here is a list of 15 of Sweden's most important trading partners in terms of export sales. That is, in terms of dollar value, the nations that imported the most Swedish shipments in 2020. The percentage of total Swedish exports for each import nation is also indicated. Norway, $16.4 billion accounts for 10.6% of total exports in Sweden. $16.1 billion in Germany stands at 10.4%. $12.6 billion in the United States, which accounts for 8.1%. Export to Denmark is worth $11.8 billion, which is 7.6%. Export to Finland is worth $10.9 billion, which is 7%. $8.4 billion in China stands at 5.4%. $8 billion in the Netherlands account for 5.1%. The United Kingdom has $7.9 billion worth of Swedish imports, which is 5.1%. $6.3 billion export to France stands at 4%. Belgium's export is worth $5.4 billion, which is 3.5%. Poland is worth $5.2 billion, which stands at 3.3%. $4.1 billion in Italy stands at 2.6%. Spain is worth $2.8 billion, which is 1.8%. $2.4 billion in Japan accounts for 1.6%. $1.9 billion for Russia stands at 1.2%. In 2022, the previously mentioned trading partners will account for more than 3/4 or 77.3% of Swedish exports. China went up by 12%, Denmark was up by 6.2%, and the United States, which came up by 6.2%, are three of Sweden's main clients who boosted their consumption of Swedish goods from 2019 to 2020. Belgium went down by -13.7%, Russia was down by -12.4%, and Spain all had double-digit decreases year-over-year, down by -10.2%. Thanks for watching this video. We are open to suggestions. Kindly drop your comments in the comment box, and don't forget to subscribe to the Big Man Business YouTube channel. See you in the next video.